Hello and welcome to the AfterParty, conversations with Spy Party players. Today I'm joined by Canadian Bacon.
Hello.
Hello. So today we're going to talk about your new tournament that's coming up pretty soon, like next week, is it?
Yeah, starting 16th, I believe is what I said.
Yeah,
Something like that.
So is it the second or the second annual?
No, so I did one like way back when, in 2013, before we even had the open beta. So not quite annual, but yeah, the second one.
Wow. The return, um, the infamous return. Yeah, so it's the Canadian Bacon doubles tournament. God, yeah, yeah, that makes sense. It not being an annual thing because I remember when signing up for it, I was like, man, I cannot for the life of me like remember the first the first tournament. What happened in it. So, do you want to maybe give a bit of a like description of what the first tournament was and how it came about?
Sure. So at the time in Spy Party, there were a couple players. I don't remember all of them, but I remember Sign T as being one. There were some players who only played one role ever. They refused to do the other one. For example, Sign T only played Sniper, and I'm like, hey, it'd be cool if you could do a tournament where you only had to play one. And I was trying to come up with a tournament format where that would work, and you really can't do it where like you just enter as a sniper or as a spy by yourself because it's just completely unbalanced and awful, and there's no way to do that. So I'm like, okay, let's do a team up tournament where each player plays only one role. And because of the timing of it, it was right before the open beta was starting. So I decided to be like, oh, this is the final tournament of the pre-open beta phase, and the winner of that will be crowned the king of the closed beta.
Yeah, the closed beta community. Huh. Wait, so who won?
Slappy Davis won. So I allowed people to enter as solo participants because otherwise we wouldn't have had enough people at the time. So Slappy Davis was playing both roles and kind of destroyed everyone in that tournament, actually. Second place was Warning Track and GCat, and they had a great logo that they made, which was the inspiration for requiring logos for this one, because that was honestly the best part, was people talking trash in the forums and like making logos and stuff. That was a lot of fun.
I should look that up. What was their logo?
I believe it's actually in the current thread as well. He reposted it, but it was just like a warning sign with a cat on it, and like I'm sure he threw it together in like 5 minutes, but it was good.
Yeah, yeah. Now the simple stuff is often the best because it's like easy to read. It's not like too like overdone. It's making of a good logo. Ah, cool. Yeah, I'm quite excited for the new tournament. Cameraman and I are teaming up as a team cut and shoot. But I really uh like you were saying, it was sort of a natural sort of consequence of the fact that there was a small community like making people team up. Like there's something about that structure that feels really sort of motivating and fun for a spy party tournament. Because like most of the tournaments we run, like the now annual Spy Party Competitive League, it being everyone sort of like playing for themselves feels kind of intimidating. Whereas the idea of having like a partner kind of makes it feel more approachable and more like lighthearted.
Yeah, in like the SCL, everyone who's around your level is your enemy, and like you can't practice with them because you're gonna be facing off against them. But here you got someone on your side to make it all a little easier on your psyche.
Yeah, 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 totally. Um, so so like putting this tournament together. Uh, have you had much like I feel like I have like a general sense, but do you have like much of a background in competitive games? Like what's your competitive background?
Like a tiny one, I guess. In I was very good at dive kick when people played that. I traveled to a couple tournaments for that and did well. And I have had some minor Hearthstone results in tournaments, and at at the Combo Breaker series of fighting game tournaments, I usually like help out with brackets and stuff.
Cool. Oh, with dive kick.
They don't play dive kick anymore, unfortunately,
Oh,
but just in general,
right.
dive kick has fallen by the wayside since its release,
Yeah,
as happens with games every few years.
yeah. Is there sort of a like zeitgeist in competitive communities of like, okay, what's the new thing?
Yeah, anytime new games come out, they kind of replace the old games, especially in fighting games, although there are a couple exceptions. But usually, games are around for like a few years and then people move on to something else.
Something I'm kind of grateful for in Spy Party, like it still feels like it's a small community, but it's quite impressive to me the legs it has. I'm not sure if that's right.
There's nothing. Well, there's nothing like quite like Spy Party. If I'm playing, some Street Fighter game, there are games that are like pretty similar to Street Fighter. They're not the same thing, but I can move on to some other fighting game and get like a similar experience. You can't move on to the next Spy Party or some like Spy Party adjacent thing.
Yeah, no, that's very true. Yeah, I thinking to something like Dive Kick, where it did feel like more of a sort of like it was really fun. I remember at PAX 2015 when you taught me to play, and I was like, oh, this is like a fun novel fighting game. But yeah, it didn't feel like something I was going to be drawn to for a long time. Yeah, so like more specifically than to Spy Party, where like when did you first play that? Like, what got you into Spy Party, or when did you hear about it?
I don't remember exactly where I heard about it. It was some random article before the closed beta started, and I signed up to them. Like, oh, that sounds pretty cool. And I got in really early. I think a little under 2 months after the closed beta started. So that was in June 2012.
Wow. Yeah,
I have been playing this game for quite some time.
Yeah, over 5 years. I just today hit my 5 year anniversary. So yeah, it's
so
like
you were in not too long after me then.
yeah, it was as of the time today, which in my time zone is October 11th. So yeah, 5 years. So like I mean, I've been terrible with my like uptick. I've been like very slow and intermittent to play. Have you like what's your sort of arc been over time? Like, have there been periods where you've played more or played less?
The first month or so where I had it, I think I played about 1,000 games of that time, and since then it's definitely slowed down. I usually only play with like the people I talk with a lot outside of like tournaments and stuff. So like I'll play like I would play with Drawn a lot when he was playing a lot. I'll play with Wodar, I'll play with Hummus. I usually don't just go around and play with people who are sitting in the lobby. It's just the people that I talk with a lot. So that's kind of why I've played less over the past couple of years, is because those people also play less.
Yeah.
I know a lot of the people who are like playing a lot of games now will just pop into the lobby, play against whoever.
Yeah. It's interesting. I feel like there are sort of different like Panzer styles. Yeah, like you described. There's people who sort of play when they've got a like group of friends they play with regularly, and then there's people who will just like play whomever randomly in the lobby.
Yeah, at the start of Spy Party, I would definitely just play whoever, but not so much anymore.
I mean, I kind of like that. Sometimes just like dropping into the lobby and having an experience against someone I've never played before, because that's something kind of fun about it is you learn just like how different people play the game differently. Whereas if you're playing with someone who you have a history with, you're kind of like playing with anticipation or like expectation of what the other person's gonna do.
Yeah, there's background there. I don't like the term, but there's a meta game going on there. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. Um, and then of course like all that stuff comes into play when you're in a tournament because those are the people you've like played with before or sort of know things about or can look them up. There's been a lot of like good smack in in the forum thread. I recommend everyone who's signed up have a look because there's been some good sledges made.
Yeah, I'm a big fan of Smack Talk, so I'm glad that people have started doing that in this thread right now.
Yeah, yeah. Have there been I mean, God, it was so long ago. Like what, 4 years ago? This first grand tag team tournament. When you were putting this new one together, what, did you have any ideas of like changes you wanted to make or like thoughts about how you wanted the structure of the tournament to work? Like what's your sort of uh, goal as far as the structure of this tournament? How do you want it to run?
Yeah, so last time it was back in the time when we didn't really have many maps. So it was just you play on these three maps only. You don't have any choices, and we had like a tennis style tiebreaker. And I recall last time because of the tennis style tiebreaker. So it was a 12 game set, same as this one, uh, and there was one game that went to 30 games because of the tennis tiebreaker. And I wanted to avoid such a situation this time, which is why I made sure to have a single game deciding tiebreaker that cannot possibly go longer. Because I really want the tournament to be done quickly. We've had our share of tournaments that have gone on a bit long in the tooth in Spy Party.
Yeah.
So it was definitely intentional that I set a specific timeline for this.
Yeah, and as I was talking over with Catnip, it's kind of like an endurance challenge for the admin people of like keeping on top of, and for the players as well, just like keeping on top of scheduling. Whereas that's something I kind of like about the idea of this is it's like, oh cool, it's just like it feels like an event because of the way you've set it up.
Yeah, having it all in one small period of time. It's like, okay, I just need to set a little of time for this little bit of time. I don't have to constantly be ready to set time aside for the next couple months as this tournament slowly rolls out.
Yeah, yeah. That's something I think about sometimes. It's it always becomes a bit like I, I don't want to get too like existential here, but it's something I think about sometimes with like competitive games you sort of think about playing over a long period versus something that's more like one-off, like playing Tacoma or something like that, where games you come back to a lot and have the capacity to put a lot of time into, makes you kind of think more about your like sort of life schedules and patterns and like where you're putting your time. And so games like that I feel make you think a lot more about the like very hard limits to how much time you can spend doing things. And so it can always be kind of like yeah, existential to think about playing them versus playing something. Oh, I know I can like do this one off and then be done with it. So that's kind of a nice reason to have more sort of self-contained tournaments, I would say.
Yeah, much less of a commitment is, I think, the word I was searching for before.
Yes, that's it. A commitment. There's the like fear of commitment in long term competition. Mm. I mean, not to denigrate the competitive league because I feel like that's also fun and valuable in its own way. Like I kind of liked how I was sort of saying before, I like bemoan my lack of commitment to playing consistently. And that was something I kind of enjoy in the league season. It's like, oh, I like actually have to play consistently for a period. Whereas if that structure wasn't there, then I would like maybe drop in once in a blue moon without really committing time to it.
Yeah, so a structure like the SCL has sort of a different purpose than like a single tournament, but it is a purpose that it serves. With a single tournament, a single result is all that matters, and that consistency of the SCL, it kind of brings out the consistent performers and whatnot, and that's its own thing, and that is something that I like, even though sometimes it can feel like it's going on a bit long.
Yeah, yeah. Are there any games at the moment that you're sort of playing at a more consistent clip?
I've been playing a lot of PUBG. Uh, I've always been playing a lot of Hearthstone the past year or so. That's about it for games that I've been sinking a lot of time into at the moment.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I've heard a lot about that. So like uh, do you like play seriously when you're playing PUBG? Like how competitive is it when you play a game? Do people play casually or seriously?
I would say I am like semi-serious. So there's only the matchmaking. There's no like
Oh,
custom
okay.
games or whatever available to the normal people at least. Like you can be like a partnered streamer and you get custom servers or whatever. But you just enter the matchmaking and you play. And yeah, I mean I'm not like there's no competitive like scene for it that I'm in or anything. But I like winning. Winning is a thing that I enjoy, and I like to play fairly seriously. But sometimes there's just crazy business that's happening, and that's a lot of the fun as well.
Hmm.
And I only do play with my friends in that as well. I don't play up with random teams, so that's part of the semi-serious thing as well.
Okay, so it's sort of a similar thing to Spy Party. Like that's part of the draw. Is it as a like place you can play with your friends?
Yeah, most, especially team games, I don't very much like playing with random people. There's sometimes I do it. Like there was a while where I was playing Overwatch competitive, and I just played solo queue and with random people, but that gets tiring after a while.
Mm, mm. I mean, do you feel like it depends on the community? Like, I can imagine there are certain places where it's more comfortable to play with random people than others.
Yeah, for sure. And like something like Spy Party, if I'm playing with a random person, and like at least I know they're not going to be, flinging expletives at me or anything, um, which can certainly happen in other online games. Yeah, it definitely depends, but most multiplayer communities are kind of similar. Some are worse than others, but they've all kind of got the same undercurrent.
Oh, okay. Um, wait, so it's like generally a positive undercurrent or generally a negative undercurrent, or is that like too simple of a declaration?
Yeah, it's a little hard to say in those terms, but like every game will have every like team game, like team competitive game, is going to have angry people in it. I would say not like a majority or not like every person, but you're going to experience it if you're playing in like a team competitive setting.
Yeah, yeah. Interesting. So coming back to before we close, talking about the tournament, are there any sort of like what will be the closing like uh, accolades for whomever wins? Are there any like prizes or titles that are going to be bestowed upon the Canadian
Right.
Bacon
So
doubles
I do
winners?
have there are the super sick prizes this time around. Last time I like gave the winner a Steam game or whatever. This time I'm going to. There's the custom jackets that are going to have your logo on it, which I think is going to be super cool. So that's part of why I made it mandatory that everyone have a logo. Because if you win, you get like a varsity style jacket that I'm going to order up and print the logo on.
Holy shit!
Yeah, the quality might vary depending on how much that ends up costing and how much money I have in my wallet. But I think it'll be pretty cool. I think that's the best idea I've had at the tournament, honestly.
Dude. Yeah, if you use if you use more than three colors, I'm not printing your logo. Like has to be grayscale or something.
It's actually pretty robust with what you can get on custom items like these days.
That's pretty cool. Is there a runner-up prize?
Depending on how much I spend on the main prize, if the jackets end up not costing too much, I might make hats with logos for the runners-up.
Yeah. Cool. So wait, I forget. Like you're competing as well. Who's your partner?
That would be Slappy Davis.
Oh, and your team?
We are Shake and Bacon.
I like it. Cool. Have either of you played any like practice or preparation games?
We haven't, but I think he wanted to, so that's probably going to happen this week.
Yeah, I should
He
probably.
he said that he wanted to take things semi-seriously.
Mm. Yeah, yes, he wants that shake and bacon jacket.
Yeah, gotta get that sweet jacket.
Awesome. Cool. Anything else you want to say about the tournament before we close?
I think we about covered it.
Cool. Awesome. Well, thanks very much, Canadian Bacon, for stopping by.